But the Elixir macro system is quite simple. I'm not sure it can be integrated into Ruby, but
you thought about it, right?
yeah, at least once.
For how long?
Yeah, not a long time. But yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, manipulating with AST3 instead of just writing strings to evaluate strings.
It is now really manipulating AST. It's kind of like that.
It's more like pre-manipulating them before compile time, basically.
Yeah. Oh, great.
What do you do in Heroku?
Heroku.
No Heroku business. So the three of us are hired by Heroku, and then we are working full time for the COD. So then we don't work for Heroku. We work for Heroku. Yeah, we work for Heroku business.
So they just like to have you on the board in just
Yeah, fundamentally.
yeah,
And
but you are proceeding to work on the just Ruby.
And then, so the Heroku has a language team, like some people supporting the Ruby build part in Heroku, and some other people working on Java and PHP and Python and other languages. And then we are working together with the Ruby language team. So if they have any issue, and so for example, newer version of Ruby, so we will fix this problem in high priority. But, I have been working for Heroku for the last 5 years. And then that kind of issue only occurred once in last 5 years.
Oh, Max, are you angry when people don't separate Rails and Ruby? And there are lots of people who are Rails developers but not Ruby developers because of active support and libretter, and that Rails major just changes. This major changes people's mind, people mind, and a lot of people can't separate Rails from Ruby.
I
What
don't
do you
be
feel?
angry. The Rails,
It's okay, okay.
Yeah, Rails is part of the broader Ruby community, so it's okay. Otherwise, unless some people ask me about fixing Rails. So
Rails too slow, please fix it.
yeah.
But by the way, I believe making symbols are not symbols objects were state with immortal state, yeah, before. But sometimes some years ago, a year, 2 years ago, you or community changed symbols to became to be able to be gathered with garbage collector. Yeah, is it right? But and it looks like Rails forced this action, no? Because of a lot of monkey coders did params to sim and fuck it up and okay.
Yeah. That feature was developed due to because of the Rails issue. The security issue they had in the past, like generating the bunch of tons of the symbols from the user input. But that problem can easily be accomplished by the other framework. So I don't really feel we are forced to address that.
How Rails are popular in Japan, or maybe not?
Rails is pretty popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, in web application. So many companies using Rails, so many people, many programmers using Rails. So it's pretty popular.
And what maybe big systems use Ruby in Japan? What kind of? In which systems?
In Japan?
Yeah. Because I know that Ruby is pretty popular in Japan than it was before.
Before Rails.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the service named Cookpad, which is the recipe service.
recipe collecting service. The world big. I think it's the world biggest recipe collecting service, which collects, I don't know, maybe more than few millions of recipes. And that whole system is running now on Rails.
What is the biggest difference in culture of working as a developer and as a developer team between like Japan or Europe or Japan and the States, whatever? Like it feels like we consider Japan as a very magical and kind of as a very special, very magical like country. I don't even know people who started learning Japanese after Ruby and like and what is the difference between culture of work?
In the core community, it's not that much difference. We just have a longer history. So, and maybe half of our core community are Japanese, but you know, it's just because we have longer history in the community. So recent new communities tends to be non-Japanese. Like we have one Russian, and then the European, American, and I don't know who he's from, or maybe he or she or it or something like that. But yeah, some people.
I mean, in general, working culture, like working in the office as a team in Japan and working in the United States, what is the biggest difference? What do you feel about actual work?
They speak Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that difference. But the community-wise, so we tend to focus on Ruby language, not Rails, because maybe we have the bigger community, so we can have the Rails conference and Ruby Rails meetups and the Ruby conference at the same time. So in some countries, the Ruby community and the Rails community is indistinguishable. So they have to work together. But in Japan, the community is much bigger, so we can have the conference that we talk only on Ruby.
So no Rails on the
No Rails.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Two months ago we had a Ruby Kaigi conference in Tokyo, and we had I don't know 900 something attendees, but the whole conference, whole topic was on Ruby. No Rails.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I think that's the only difference.
So you have one of the best language of the world. We have I think best framework in the world. Tomorrow we will see concurrent Ruby. What do you think will be at the end? The happy end, I think.
So the situation is getting changed. So we have to address like a concurrency just because of that. So we have more people on the machine, say, 04, 84 on the PC, and then we have the distributed system. So in that way, the Ruby have to address that kind of situation in any way in the future.
No, I see. Okay, we're ready. We're waiting, and what will be after all after this? At the
What
end.
the future?
The far future of Ruby.
I don't know. My only concrete goal is keep helping people and keep community alive. Just because in open source community, we have to keep moving forward. There's so many open source software die in maybe 10 years, 5 years, just because they stop improving. So with few exceptions like Postman, Global, C, the language or maybe open source software in general have to move on to keep progressing, keep improving. So that's my only goal I have in the long run.
I have a question.
Yes.
So as I understood, you work for Heroku remotely
Yeah, from Japan.
from
yes.
Japan.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What do you feel about remote working? Do you know what we are doing at TopTal?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. So, could you please share your thoughts about remote working? What do you think?
Yeah, remote working itself is, provides some kind of freedom because of the, you can choose where you live, you can choose when you live. So it's, I believe in freedom. So the more freedom is better. But at the same time, so as a company, so most of them manage and accomplish the product or project. So by remote working, the burden of the manager will be higher. So that should be problem. For me, I'm exceptional because I'm working on open source software full time. So the work of the open source software is fundamentally distributed. So I have no problem. So and then I have no management. So I don't see any problem for me myself. But maybe I've heard that half of the Heroku engineers working remotely. So and then they care pretty much about that.
I believe it offers a lot of freedom for companies as well to hire best people from around the world, not like
You're not
be
limited
locked
to any location, to any area.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe if a person can't work without management, then this person will not be able to work even in office without management. Do we need such person in our team, for example? If this developer will not work, will not be able to work without standing next to him and looking at him and write this if, write this.
Did you ever hear about TopTal before?
I heard the name, so as a sponsor of the conference, yeah, and so I heard the name of the TopTal from podcast, but not in detail.
But I believe you should know Bojidar.
Bojidar Batso,
Bojidar Batso.
maybe.
Classical.
Bojidar Batso.
The author of Robocop and
Yeah.
our VP of development.
Do you know about Robocop?
Robocop.
Of course.
Bojidar Batso is our VP of engineering. He created Robocop. So briefly talk.
He get well. He had a issue.
Yeah,
the
he
health
had a
problem in
surgery.
the
Actually,
Europe.
I saw him just yesterday. So
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's nice.
we had a meeting.
Yeah, I worry about him.
He looks not so good, but he is in his rehabilitation period. So he needs 2 more months for rehabilitate.
Too bad.
Yeah.
I believe the
Now
main problem of Bojidar
he
is he
has a
can't drink
special
anymore.
diet, but everything is okay. He just not so happy about everything there.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, well, that's about TopTal.
But
We have 300 people in remote team, and there are 130 or 40 developers around the world.
And all of us, we work remotely. That's, yeah. Actually, we are building something like freelance marketplace, but not like Odesk or freelance. It's not so easy to came to our platform. So you have to proceed through 3 steps interview
With real people.
with
So
real.
more higher level engineer.
Yeah, more high level. The first interview is just to check your English skills. The second is some simple test. The third pair programming contest, just to check how you,
Homework,
how you actually can work with code, etc.
As far as I understand, the sharing the mindset between the remote team is pretty crucial.
Yeah, right now,
How-
we are trying to manage everything. We always and constantly facing into different problems because of remote working, but we are pioneers here. That's the new frontier that we want to break through. Because actually the main mission of TopTal that we are trying to prove the world that remote working is the future. So that's I wanted to ask you for your opinion about remote work.
Yeah, as far as we can control and progress the project, so the remote work provides engineers freedom, and I truly believe of freedom. So I'm on
Yeah.
to the remote work.
Yeah, personally I work remotely for 7 years
Oh,
now.
great.
Yeah, and I know all the disadvantages and advantages of remote working. Yeah, that's a freedom, but also not always.
Not always.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
sometimes
agree.
you need to spend some time with managers, with other stuff. That
Well,
maybe
have
stuff.
vacations basically always connected.
Vacation is also some kind of stuff that you have managed with.
How do you handle, like, obviously as a maintainer of one of the biggest open source projects in the world, you get a lot of communication, a lot of information, a lot of emails, everything. How do you handle this giant amount of communication on a everyday basis? How do you spend it?
I usually limit the time of the communication.
How do you do it?
Because I shut down all the chats, Slack, IRC. So the to contact with me, you can only contact with mail, or you can contact the other guys in Heroku so that they can talk with me. So that's, if I open up every channel for my time, whole of my time is consumed very quickly. So it's impossible.
You're kind of
Yeah,
just
yeah.
blocking yourself from the communication. You don't, that's...
No, about
Do you use different accounts for personal computing and working computing?
No.
No? Just only one
There is
account?
no personal computing.
No, I just know that. Just some guys practice this. So in the working account, they maybe have Slack, all the chats, all the working email, etc. And when they just want to have some free time or some personal time, they're just signing off and signing on to personal accounts.
Yeah, that's one way, but I didn't do that way.
By the way, about one of the biggest open source projects. Do you remember specification of Ruby actually? Do you know it perfectly, or you are starting to forget?
I sometimes forget. Does Ruby work like that?
Or if Ruby is maintained by community, you
Yeah,
even
community.
should
Yeah. I
keep
sometimes
an eye.
forget the very teeny detail of the language.
That's okay. We all
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
no,
Did
it's
I make
okay.
that decision?
None of us know.
So many different ways how you can shoot your
Yeah.
plan.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty hard to remember everything, every tiny detail.
And then Ruby is pretty complex language.
Why do you do not want to make it simpler?
I want programmers, Ruby users to be productive. So the being simple is not my first priority. So I want to help people. And since our task is not simple, the plain simple programming language is not really useful. It may be beautiful, but it is not convenient.
Yeah,
Sometimes. My primary goal is to create a beautiful life.
But it's already beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah,
I hate
the
JavaScript.
designing language is quite difficult task. Having everything ad hoc is quite easy to design, but it loses some kind of the beauty, like P language.
What do you think about P language version 3?
Not that P language.
I believe I know Ruby pretty good to love and hate it in the same time.
What do you think about J language?
J language.
The hypest
Is
one.
it better
now.
than P language?
Not the older one. but
In
the-
one sense, it's pretty good language, but actually, I personally don't want to program in that J.
Too many hype about that. So
the language is maybe different from the project suitable language.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe I'm working on the team of 1,000. I don't choose Ruby. Wrong.
Why not?
You know, it is Ruby is too much focused on the freedom of individual. But if
Agree.
you're working on the team of 1,000, and then every 1,000 people, every engineer in 1,000 team,
They have
uh,
their
going
own
to-
opinions.
they're, focus on their freedom or their opinion.
Yeah.
It is quite easy to create chaos.
Totally agree. Always on the big project, you have to make some conventions over the code, all the naming system, a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So instead of creating the team of 1,000, so I want the systems and with a combination of the team of 6 or maybe 4, and then combine everything in one system. That time.
Is there
I prefer that time.
Is there in Ruby something what you would like to change, but only backward compatibility stops you?
The concurrency is one of the biggest obstacles. You know, I introduced the threads in the very early version of Ruby without thinking very deeply. Just because, okay, we have threads, we have concurrency, okay, put the thread in there. But the thread is very easy to understand in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it is quite difficult to write correct programs. We have everything is shared, so it is quite easy to create deadlocks and missing functions. And yeah, I regret that. So I should have provide better concurrency abstraction, at least actors.
Messages, actors, messengers, pipelines, actors, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So we'll have actors in Ruby.
Follows.
Sometime.
Or they have it in Elixir.
Elixir has another VM.
Yeah, but Elixir pipeline is quite nice.
Yeah, I love this
In
operator.
Kotlin, at least.
This is the best operator that I've seen in any language. Pipeline operator. When you're just turning around your code and it's understandable.
But in Ruby, it is quite.
Don't you want to implement something like this in Ruby?
In Ruby, the method chaining is quite similar to pipeline operator.
Yeah,
Elixir.
but not the operator with the
Yeah, not the operator, but instead of having the first variable on top, so we can put the receiver on top.
Yeah. Actually, Ruby is for this.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So we
They
have.
sell Ruby is the self for writing this stuff. Yes.
So Ruby method chaining in Ruby is pretty much convenient, but used for years, and the semantic itself is quite similar to Elixir pipeline operator. So once we, the pipeline system, like the enumerated in Elixir, is a little bit different from Ruby. So once we provide that kind of library, so we already have that kind of